let's start off with big data. You know, every industry is dealing with, and specifically many vertical industry like the telecom, like healthcare, like retail, are all going through large amounts of data that they're already collecting, both in the form of structured and unstructured. The first step to understanding big data is what kind of infrastructure you need to be able to enable companies to monetize their data in more efficient manner. And that's one of the areas that Hitachi is really well focused on. We have the server, the storage, and the network technology that enables customers to provide both unstructured and structured in an organized manner so that it is easier to apply some of the analytics on top of that to be able to monetize the data. One of the biggest advantages of what you get from Hitachi Data Systems is the search and metadata capability that are required for the large volumes of data that you have to be able to better analyze the data. And that's one of the areas we work with. And we also have partnerships that I want, Larry to cover.
Hey, so for a lot of our telecommunication customers are the big data, which for telecommunications it's customer experience management and subscriber data management. Previously, most of our service providers have invested in upgrading their BSS systems. They've upgraded their OSS systems. They've positioned themselves so that they can quickly offer services to offset the declining revenues from SMS and pure voice. But when you start doing that, you start accumulating very large amounts of data. And to be able to store and manage that data, it actually costs. The issue for service providers is, from an operational standpoint, how do I make sure that I'm generating more money out of keeping that data and managing it than I'm spending to do it in the first place? For a service provider, that translates into being able to use a company like Hitachi's data to efficiently manage all that data so that I can look at how do I reduce my churn for my customer experience? How do I know what my subscribers are doing by being able to pull all this data together in one place and actually do searches that tell me I did 15 campaigns last month and these 2 succeeded, these 3 didn't. How do I quickly reduce that? How do I help my call center people by being able to give them access to all the contacts from my customer in one place so that when a customer calls in, I know that this was his behavior patterns last year or last week, and this is what else I can upsell him to improve my ARPU. Companies like Google or PayPal or whatever do this very well. This is how they make their money, right? The advantage that the service providers have is they know exactly, they have an existing relationship with that customer. They know what his behavior is, they know where he is, they know what he's bought, they know what passes through their network that Google or whatever doesn't have. The challenge from the service provider is how do I make sure that I'm actually putting that data in a place where I can access it, and I'm not spending more money to be able to store it and archive it than I'm actually generating from it. So Hitachi has very good solutions that allow a very good TCO and help the service provider actually be able to generate revenue off of that data, either indirectly by reducing churn or directly by being able to upsell. There's also the revenue assurance pieces, to make sure that distributors are actually using all the SIM cards and everything correctly, being able to track where all the assets are. There's a very large amount of opportunities once you get to the place where you can actually create all this data and store it and manage it, archive it correctly with a solution like Hitachi has.
So one of the biggest questions that customers face is they have to make a big investment to reap the benefit. You mentioned that earlier. The question or the response to that is when they're already buying infrastructure today to run their traditional enterprise IT, what they need to do is to make sure that the infrastructure that they're acquiring is capable of handling big data analytics as well. And one of the areas we are focused on is ensuring that the storage systems are capable of handling both structured and unstructured data, because big data can be from both these sources. The second piece is to be able to handle the searches as well as metadata information. to be able to access that data more efficiently, because you don't want all the data available all the time. You only want to select the data that you want to analyze for big data analytics. And finally, to work with partners like SAP HANA for structured data analytics, or also be able to introduce Hadoop for other unstructured data analytics. We have built the infrastructure to be able to start now with the traditional infrastructure and be able to provide big data analytics capability for a variety of different industries. And that's one of the strengths that Hitachi brings to the table. In some cases, we provide the complete solution. We just announced recently at the SAP forum a full stack of server network storage with embedded SAP HANA for analytics of business warehouse data that many industries today have. This complete solution is sold as a total appliance with full service and consulting with our partners. So we work with our partners to provide the consulting for the implementation to meet the specific customer needs, but we have a complete solution on this case. That's one of the examples of solution. Other solutions are done with partners that provide the infrastructure.